All right, so if you did watch the women's championship game, so I watched it. What's been interesting to me, and I'm interested in your thoughts because I really am, like, is all of this back and forth after the game was over. You know, first of all, to me, sport is the physicality behind it, but also this part of the game. And listen, if you can let me get inside somebody's head, I'm going to. Period, end of story. And I work hard to keep people out of mine. That's life, business, athletics. Like, to be honest with you, straight up, no bullshit, I've not typically watched a lot of women's college basketball. I just haven't. Like, I don't watch tons. I do the best I can. I like what I like. I like men's college basketball. I like the NBA. Women's basketball is great. I just haven't watched a lot of it, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. My issue, marketing, my time, don't know. But I did watch the championship game. Why'd I watch it? South Carolina got beat. I knew they were undefeated, number one, and I thought they would just win again. So I was like, you kind of know the outcome. It's not as exciting to watch. I mean, really. Number two, I did see what Caitlin Clark was doing. I did see the numbers she was putting up. LSU, that was intriguing. Coach, like first year, I knew she had been at Baylor. I paid enough attention to that. People talk about all kinds of stuff, what she wears, what she doesn't wear, how animated she is. While I played baseball, basketball, football growing up, I didn't play any college basketball at all. Like, I didn't even want to play in high school. Like, I like baseball, football, played some college sports, but not like no basketball, okay? The funnest sport, the one I've enjoyed coaching the most when my kids were growing up and my boy played was basketball. I enjoyed it so much because there was so much back and forth. There was such a mental part to the game. And I mean, they were 15, 16, 17, whatever age. But at a high level of that AAU travel stuff, I loved that interaction between player, fans, players, fans, coach, ref. I just liked it. And again, I've not watched a lot of it this year. So for me to pretend to know all the players, I don't. I know that Angel Reese, did all this with the ring to Caitlin Clark, and the world blows up. And I'm kind of like, I'm trying to understand it. You know what I mean? Like, on any level, I don't hate. First of all, I read a lot of comments. I'm like, wow, like, people have a lot of hatred for people they don't even know. I think talking shit is part of sports. If you don't know basketball, talking shit is not part of baseball. I mean, yeah, you're in the dugout, you're screaming, you're yelling, the pitchers, but it's not a fabric of the game. It's not. And in playing football, coaching it, watching it, it's definitely part of it. But dude, there's different when you have your helmet on, it's not near as personal, and you about can't even hear what people are saying. The fans can't hear what you're saying. They can't see what you're saying. It's just a lot going on, And in basketball, you're on, like, football and baseball, you can be out of bounds in basketball by like 6 inches, by 2 feet, and be in somebody's seat. So you're in it. Like, everybody's in it, right? And I thought, first of all, I think talking shit is entertaining. I don't know how we decide what you can and can't say. People say stuff like, well, you said it after the game. You should have said it during the game. Dude, like, I'm just like, and then you kind of find out that people just want to hate on either level. I think LSU won championship. They were obviously much better. Watch the game. Looked like they had better players. They had a better game plan. And they won. And they deserved the championship. I didn't watch Iowa play much. I just watched like a very small part of the game and watched the final game. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is very good. She said the LSU coach said she changed, and I believe the things she said. She seems to know the game of basketball. That being said, at the end of the day, when you're not in the game, my opinion on any of it is that's their shit. That's the player's stuff. Dude, you don't know what happens during the game. You don't know what's said during the game. You know what it said about you, about your mom, about your friends, about your teammates, about your coach. You don't know. You have no idea. No clue. So Part of it is when Caitlin Clark was doing it, and again, this scene's been, I pay attention to a lot of it. Dude, the players should, to each other, that's part of the game. There are no rules. There is no rule that says you can only talk shit during the game before it's over. You're not allowed to talk it after. There's no rule that says that. Like that, and there shouldn't be. That's just weird. There's no rule that says, well, you know what? You can't, after the championship, get in somebody's face and go, dude, there's no rule. And on top of it, I've never at 18, 19, 20, 21 years of age won something like that with the entire world watching. I mean, so for me, I know how I'd probably react. I know Shawn, I reacted that way with 300 people watching, you know? But also the shit that people talked to me built me into who I am. Reacting the way you need to react. First of all, if I lost, I lost. I didn't like losing. I actually hated it. But if I lost, I lost. Now, I might still say something like, yo, if you yell at me and you go, we won, I'm like, I know, dude, but like, you're never going to play again. I'm going to play again. These are two ridiculously good players. One set like a record for triple doubles, I think. One's set a scoring record in the tournament. They're both really, really, really badass players. But at the end of the day, why are we fighting any of this shit talking on any level? Why are we mad that Caitlin Clark did this? And then if we are, and then why are we mad that Reese returned it and pointed at her why? I'm just like, and by the way, we're talking about it, which no matter what happens through all this, I don't need to be on ESPN. This is good for women's college basketball. Storylines sell. We're talking about it. We might actually talk more about this game than we do the men's championship. And I'm just saying, like, you see this. One of the things about the NBA this year, you heard people say it's getting chippy or this is happening. Dude, they're competing. But I watched 15-year-olds say some stuff to each other on that basketball court that if they said it in school or in the public, people would lose their minds. Dude, they were competing. And they were playing this game too. So, my opinion, players talk shit. Ain't none your business. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. There are no specific rules or when you can and you can't. You can have an opinion on it. I've heard a lot of people just straight out have gone like, well, this is right because this and this right because this. They bring a lot of things into play that I don't see it that way. I don't see things and go, well, it's based on where you grew up, who you are, color of your skin. I don't see it that way. But I don't. And by the way, that's just my lens because athletically, everybody was always different places, different ethnicities. I was never tripping about that. That was like how it all worked out. It didn't, but I get where people can go with that. That part I understand. I really do. But I know this. These are college kids competing their asses off. We shouldn't hate any of them. We shouldn't. I don't think. I just don't. I don't think you should be talking shit about any of them. I think that LSU won. And Angel Reese let Caitlin Clark know they won. She had the right to do that. They're playing, they're players, that's their shit. I know it's good to talk about it, good to post about it, and it gets everybody excited. I think we have not enough of talking shit in sports today. We don't have enough competitiveness on any level. I think, we didn't have all this travel stuff where everybody's friend. You knew your town, your state, your county, and that's who you loved, man. Those were your teammates. And if you weren't on my team, you were my opposition. So I just, for me, I don't know. I didn't, when any of them were doing it, I didn't, I watched the entire game and the post game and I was just like, eh. And then I saw everybody blow up about it. I was like, dude, what, did I miss something? What happened? I'm trying to understand it all. And, it's perspective. And listen, I'm not I guess if your team is one of them or people are like, well, I'm upset because I'm an alum. And I'm like, I know, but you're still not on the team, dude. I hear you, but I got it. But even if you're emotional about it, dude, these are competitors. What was cool is watching the competition. That was really cool. people, then they go on to the refs. They did this and they did that. Dude, all I want is consistency. That's it. I don't know. I don't watch enough women's college basketball to know if you take the ball, you flip it behind your back, throw it out of bounds. If that's a technical, typically, then it should be a tech. I probably watch way too much NBA, which I don't. I mean, maybe I guess maybe they would. I don't know. If it's typically a technical, call it. If you typically wouldn't, don't. Just like any other foul during the game, But at the end of the day, you learn a lot about losing. And listen, LSU needed a chip on their shoulder. They said they were upset about Caitlin Clark being dismissive of South Carolina, which again, for me, I'm kind of like, dude, that's not even your team, but fine. Like, dude, when you're a winner, you want a chip and an edge. You want an edge. You want to find some reason to dislike your opponent, I think. I think athletics, business, I think you want to kind of like, I may respect their game, but damn, I don't like them, and I hate them. I say to kids I coach, you know who they are? Yes. What does that mean? We don't like them, coach. And why? You know what? We don't like them for the next 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's an AU basketball game. We don't like them for the next 55 minutes, running clock. Boom, gone, right? So it's getting people to understand that, and I want to know, if you go, dude, there's rules. They shouldn't be able to say this. They shouldn't be able to say that. Because I'm sitting back going like, I don't know. That's part of the fabric of the game. And I think that's part of the fabric of that game. You can argue because of where the game is played or who, but I just think basketball, just forget about everything else people want to throw into the mix. It's just a different arena, dude. It's different than anything else. There's no, and I use baseball, basketball, football because I don't know. Those are sports I know, and I like to. It didn't like that in any other one. You in baseball aren't banging against some guy or two girls pushing and shoving and competing and covering each other all game long. In football, defensive tackle, offensive guard, going at it all day long. But again, dude, helmets on, can't see a lot of it, moving to the next play. There isn't that kind of, fans aren't basically on the field. It's different. 100,000 people instead of a smaller arena that's still packed out. So I'd be curious because, it seems to get a lot of people really excited. If you like one team or another, I get it. If you're a diehard Iowa fan, you don't like that, they were talking shit. Well, the answer is you have to go win the game next time. Honestly, and if LSU lost and they said Caitlin Clark was dismissive when she did her this, my answer would be you should go win the game next time. That's kind of my answer. I think, to the victor goes the spoils, and, I don't know what way there is to celebrate or to, these are, and by the way, man, they're NCAA now, they're getting paid too, bro, like a lot of them. I don't know what Caitlin Clark gets paid, but I bet she does. If Angel Reese had a terrible game and Caitlin was talking shit to her, like, dude, these are adults that are getting paid. But I think we should leave all the shit talking about them to each other and to the players that played and maybe the coaches, but I don't know, dude. I just think there's a lot of, man, I'm like, people can hate this much over a game they're not involved in and hate people they don't even begin to know and say some of the things they're saying about each other. I don't know if you understand the way this works. These two could be at an all-star team in WNBA and they're going to play. They're athletes. They're competitors. It's what they do. It's a higher level. So, but, I'm interested, man. I'm trying to, I don't usually read that many comments. I didn't realize how many comments there'd be when ESPN posted this and this one posted that and that one. Then they would eviscerate people for even posting it, whichever side it was. Like, they'd post something about Caitlin, do this. They'd be like, look what ESPN's doing. They post something about LSU, and look what ESPN's doing. I'm like, wow, people are pretty. But, hey, guess that good news for the NCAA women's side is a lot of people watch the game. There's sure as hell a lot we're talking about it. And means it was entertaining. And for all the things that they've done for women's basketball up to this, they brought a lot of notoriety to it. And I don't think it was bad notoriety at all. This is young women competing and having passion and being and understand this part of it. And you know what? You give everything you got an entire season and you win the national championship in the biggest stage in your game there is. I don't know, dude. I like fire, and if in a year from now LSU lost to the same Iowa team and a lot of them people are still there on both sides and any of the Iowa players did the same thing, I'd say the exact same thing. Like, dude, you lost. They want to do this. They want to do this. If they do nothing, so be it. You know, but I think we need to, as people that are not involved, I don't know, man. I'm just, and help me out. Help me understand it. I talk a lot about who has decided they are the morality police, dude. I'm weird. I'm like, did he or she commit a crime somewhere? Yes. Okay, then that's the laws that take care of it. They didn't, but what? Yeah, but I believe, dude, once that whistle blew or that horn started and that game started and they flipped the, ball up in the air and they had opening tip, that was a bunch of competitive people, man, laying it on the line. And you do some stuff, man, you wouldn't typically, and if you've not been there, you don't know. And I've never played in front of that many people. God bless me had I ever, how I would have reacted on both ends. But I know coach told me when I was young, man, sports is winning and learning how to win is easy. Learning how to lose is hard, and you learn how to do it. You don't want to do it, but learn how to do it. And I don't know that winning, there's a right way to win. Like, you're not able to do that. People say that sportsmanship thing. And I'm all about, you don't sucker punch people. You don't hit them from behind. There's certain things you probably shouldn't say to them if it doesn't involve them. But the competitive piece, like, dude, there's some sports out there that are dying right now because there is no competitive piece. There is none of this engaging back and forth. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, but a lot of people watch the WWE more than some of these major sports, and it's completely fiction. But it's a lot of shit talking, man. It's entertaining. And I don't think these young ladies did this to entertain us. I think they did it because they were competing. They were definitely full of emotion, and they wanted to express themselves. I say good for them. I say we need more of that, not less of that. So, but I'd be interested in your comments. Like, subscribe, please share it if this stuff makes sense to you. And as always, I appreciate your time.